What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and I'm here today with a review for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Season 6, Episode 15, titled With Friends Like These. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Alright, guys, so I'm gonna start this episode up with K Michelle. So, we saw K Michelle, so she's in Atlanta, and she's still trying to figure out this country music, where does she go to record this album? Does she, because she doesn't want to do it out there in LA. So she's just trying to figure out, where does she do it? Does she do it in Atlanta? Does she go to Nashville? Where does she go? And speaking of her country album, she just released a new single, but it's not country. What is the name of that song? Because I've been listening to it since it came out. The Rain, something like that. Rain or something like that. But she got a new, like I said, she got a new single. But it's just not the country. So I'm just kind of like, when is, because she's been talking about this country album for quite a while. So I'm just wondering, when is it coming? But, I guess, the good things will come to those who wait. But then the producers that she's meeting with, they tell her that like the best thing for her would be to go to Nashville and try to record this album. And they also tell her that she's facing she's facing some pushback because she has two negatives against her. The first negative is that she's African American, and then the second one is she's a woman. So that's pretty much it. They just tell her she needs to find somewhere permanent to stay. And like I said, they said it would be better for her to go to Nashville to do this. So then we lastly see her. She met with her friend Sabrina, and she met with Carly Red, so that they can talk to Tone. And they were doing, I think they were doing the Yoni egg. I was just like, okay. I'm still tripping off of her with this whole surrogate thing. I get it, but when Tone and her boyfriend did what they did, I would have been like, you know what? Let me go through a reputable person who can get me to someone who's an actual surrogate. But that's what K Michelle wants to do. I'm gonna let K Michelle have that. She also told them that she is getting ready to move back to Atlanta. I'm like, okay, so does that mean she's gonna join the cast of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta once again? Please don't. Please do not join that cast again. But that is it for K Michelle. So let's move on. All right, next let's talk about Little Lyrica and Clutch and Pearl. So we saw Little Lyrica, she was getting ready for her performance, and we saw everyone out there. We saw Tierra Marie was there, Apple Watts, Zell showed up with Paris, and the song that Little Lyrica performed, it actually sounded good. It just sounded like that shit was hella auto tuned, and then we saw Apple. So Apple was talking to Tierra. So Tierra and Apple are cool with each other. And she says that when it comes down to her issue with Paris and Zell, she doesn't want any drama because that's just not who she is. But she says if a fight comes to her, we all know Apple ready for it. So then Paris walks up to Apple and she's like, Apple, really? Like, we gonna really do this? We cool. And they make up with each other and they apologize. I'm like, thank God. So now here's a question though, because I do know that at the reunion they gave Apple the same treatment that they did OG from Basketball Wives. They had Apple film from a remote area because of the cast being afraid of her fighting, I guess. But that's what Love and Hip Hop is. They fight. So I don't know why anybody would be like, oh, I don't want to be on stage with Apple. It's pretty stupid. So then since we're talking about Lyric and Little Lyrica and Clutch and Pearls, we saw her. She was at Clutch and Pearl at their house. She says, I haven't moved back in yet, but we're having a little play date, and I'm still in the hotel, and I'm still looking for my own place. And I'm just like, oh, these two are the Kirk and Rashida of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. If I never saw a Kirk and Rashida of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, it's these two. But let's move on. All right, so next let's talk about TT. So Tiara, she's staying with Paris and Zell, and we realize that they are, I don't know if she's overstayed her welcome or if they just, it's like, damn, we can't do nothing because Tiara is literally here. So Zell's talking about how he's doing this casting for his clothing line and his was it his single release or his album release, whichever one it was, nobody wants it. The clothing, maybe somebody will buy it. The album, EP, whatever, music, ain't nobody taking it seriously. He also said in his green screen that he may have messed up. He's serious about his music, and people might not think that because of that whole stupid song he made with Alexa Sky dissing Masika with her when she had them dirty feet, her dirty feet with them heels. I'm like, yeah, nobody was taking it seriously before that. So what the fuck ever. So then, he's Tierra asked him, so like, y'all, I want to have Apple on a song with me. And Zell got in his feelings like, you want to have Apple on a song with you over your cousin? Y'all, are they blood related? Cause I don't know. Cause he said, what did he say? He said he grew up in Ohio, right? And Tierra grew up in Detroit. I don't know how close that is, but if they related, it is. Who cares? Not me. But I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand quite grasp because he was like, "Why would you want to do a song with Apple over him?" I mean, because we saw Apple last season She was doing music last season. You did music as a get back to Masika, so no one's taking you seriously. Sorry, but no one believes in your music career. But they start arguing over that. I'm like, okay, whatever. So then we see Zell. He's doing his casting, and then Booby shows up. I'm like, why do y'all keep splashing Booby in here just sporadically? So Booby was talking about he thought that Tierra was gonna beat her, so he can. I'm like, so you go from wanting April to now wanting Tierra. You have hopped from chick to chick on this cast since you've been on here. Because when you first came on here, you weren't really with Keisha, but you came on here with Keisha. Then you went from Keisha on here to Brooke. Then you went from Brooke to Bridget. Then you went from Bridget to your girlfriend. Actually, is she still with that girl? And then you went now you're trying to go from that girlfriend to Tierra. Oh, no, no, no. Not Tierra. April, now Tierra. Yeah, you done made your way around this group of friends, huh? You have really tried to make your way around. You're trying to make a name for you. Trying to get on this show permanently. We see you, booby. Because without Keisha, you ain't got no storyline. You didn't really have one with her, but you definitely ain't got one without her. So then, Zell's on. They talking about what happened with Tierra and why Tierra's not there, and I'm just like, okay, because she wanted to work with someone who actually does music. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? But Booby gave him some advice. I really, to be quite honest with you, wouldn't listen to what Booby says, so can't repeat it to you. So then we lastly see Tierra. She and Zell, they talk, and he basically apologizes to her. He tells her that he was just hurt, and she says, "Yeah, I know you were hurt, and when you do get hurt, like you typically lash out, and what you need to do is you need to express yourself when it happens in that time." Let people know what's going on then, and then you can actually be able to move forward instead of you harboring it and holding on to it. But he does apologize. So I'm like, thank God. So we can let this shit go. We can let this shit go. I'm just like, thank you, Lord. Thank you. All right, then I'm gonna throw in a scene with Jason Lee. He was having this event. I don't know what kind of event it was, but we got a blast from the past. Miss Nikki Baby was back. Hey everybody, it's your girl Miss Nikki Baby. I'm like, I heard that Miss Nikki Baby was coming back, but damn, they waited till like literally the end of the season for her and Tierra. So I wonder if that means that they are possibly gonna bring them back for next season. Well, now Nikki really hadn't had a storyline in years, and Tierra, she had one last year, but that one, who? That storyline last season was not the best. So and is it me or I don't like talking about people's bodies, but Miss Nikki, her ass, it just looked like one side is heavier than the other, and it just looked like one side, like how you have a pendulum rod, how the pendulum it just goes like this. That's how her ass. To me, when she walked, it looked like her ass is just doing a pendulum ride. I'm not gonna talk about her ass. We're just gonna move on. So now Jason Lee is messy as fuck. Because he was talking about Moniece when she was at Hollywood Unlocked. Because Moniece is there. It is Moniece. It is Tiara. It is Miss Nikki, baby, and who else? There was somebody else there. I forgot. But he's being messy. He's talking about Moniece spit all the tea. He asked him when is she gonna fight April. Well, why would she fight April? What's the purpose of her fighting April? Somebody please explain to me what Moniece needs to fight April for. I don't know and I don't understand it. But um then she talks about the fact that Jess Hilarious, told her that Teeny Fizzlepop watches April's kids while April goes out. I'm like, well, that doesn't surprise. That literally does not surprise me. And then they show that old video that Monique showed earlier. This when the season first started airing, she showed actually it was the first episode that Monique showed that video of Jess Hilarious talking shit about Teeny Fizzlepop and April. And Mickey Monday was there as well. Now, when it comes to Mickey Monday, I'm gonna need Mickey Monday to mind his business because he's talking about he's friends with Moniece and he's friends with Teeny Fizzlepop, and he's just trying to give his little spin on things. I'm like, bruh, let Moniece and Teeny Fizzlepop handle that. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Let them handle that shit, please. Just let them handle it. And we gonna move on, you guys. Alright, you guys, and then let's end it with Dumb and Dumber. I really wish they would go the fuck away. So it's Teeny Fizzlepop and April. So they're having a housewarming party, and they have all their friends there. We saw, actually, we got a lot of blasts from the past this episode. Nia Riley was there with a ugly ass wig on. And at this housewarming party, for April to sit there and talk about Moniece always brings up Teeny Fizzlepop and she still wants him. You bring up Omarion all the time as well. Touche. Touche. So, so then the friends, they start talking about, why would Moniece do that? Carter the Body, they were like, why would Moniece, do all that stuff on Hollywood Unlocked? I mean, it was an interview. She was asked questions. She could have said no comment, but it was an interview, and Moniece wants to wants to put her side of the story out there because Teeny Fizzlepop puts his version of the story out there, so it is time for Moniece to do it herself. So I did not blame Moniece at all. I actually enjoyed the interview. I watched it was 2 parts of it, and I watched every bit of that Moniece interview. I thought it was amazing. And actually pretty much everything that Moniece said in that interview was 100% true because we have saw it play out on this season, so Moniece was not lying. So then they talk about that damn lie that April was talking about. Fizz wants this pussy. I'm just like, why'd you have to bring up that lie? This fat pussy. I'm just like, if she kept hitting, the fact that the girl just kept hitting herself, I'm like, there's something wrong with this girl. There is something wrong with the girl. And she's talking about all the industry guys that want it. You're not making yourself. I don't know who told her to do that live, because it did not paint her in a positive light. Let's say that. So then Carter the Body wants to say, hey, when it came, what the blogs, the blogs only showed a snippet of it. They didn't show the whole thing. No, we saw the whole. Everyone saw that whole live. Everybody saw that live. So go to fuck somewhere with that one. And then she's talking about the clip was leaked. Girl, how do you leak a live? You were live on Instagram. That's not leaking it. You're on live. Oh God. And then she thinks Moniece did it. Talking about, she said it resurfaced. He can't resurface if it was already out there. And it wasn't even 24 hours before the blogs had it. So, whatever, April. You sound stupid. So then we see Dumb and Dumber. They're talking about Just Hilarious and how they feel, what she did with Moniece that was effed up. They don't know if they can trust her. And then we see Jess shows up. I'm like, oh, how wonderful to see Jess Hilarious. So, she tells April that she was basically angry at her when they fell out. They didn't talk for 5 months, which, why they didn't show this? Oh God! Like, see, that's the thing about it. April is full of shit because people screen record. Like, you can go back to when the live began and screen record that shit. Nobody took. There was no bits and pieces of that live. They showed even because I know the shade rooms. Well, I know they show little parts of it to get you to click on their website, but if you just searched, I mean, you could look on Instagram. You can go to her. It was on her story. If you went to her IG story, which unfortunately I went to her IG story, and unfortunately I watched that shit, and unfortunately I was repulsed. I'm like, oh my God, you got 2 kids. What are your kids gonna think when they see this shit? And your baby daddy, for y'all to have a contentious relationship, you do realize you gave him ammunition in court, right? Like, if you want to say you're an unfit mother, their live is a perfect example of you being unfit because you looked high, you look like you were on something. So, like I said, if Omarion wanted to take you to court, like, he got you, my nigga, and it ain't much that you can do. But okay, I'm gonna let April have that one. Like, you looked horrible. Like, you looked so bad on that live. Like, so fucking bad. She looked stupid is what the fuck she did. And then, speaking of, talking about Jess, back to Jess. So we know that they had made up because then after the episode in question with Moniece released that video of Jess Hilarious, April and Jess Hilarious got on live and it was about an hour or so. And they were just, talking about, oh, we good friends. That live, I watched the entirety of it too, and I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Like, what am I watching? What the fuck was I watching? I was irritated, to say the least, and I was irritated watching this episode, looking at this shit, because these Dumb and Dumber get on my damn nerves. But, Jess is like, one day Moniece called her and she vented to Moniece. And she said, some of the stuff she said wasn't true. I'm like, nah, baby. Run that back. Some of that stuff nah. When you hurt, that was hurt talking. That one, you was speaking the real facts about your friend. Your friend is a piece of shit. A whole ass piece of shit. But, she said she didn't think that Moniece would use it. Why the fuck wouldn't she use it? Like, they're trying to make her look bad. If you give me some ammunition and use it against somebody that's making me look bad in the public eye, guarantee you I'm gonna flip the script and be like, oh no, the story has to change, and I'm gonna change it. So then they April said, I'm gonna have to sit on this whole friendship thing right now and see what I'm gonna do. I don't care what they do, do not care. And April asked Jess Hilarious, like, so what are you gonna do about money? She said, I want to pull up on that bitch. I'm like, okay, Jess, get your wig snatched off. Get your wig snatched off. But you guys, that was Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So be sure to like the video, leave your comments, hit that notification bell button, share the video, and I will see you guys later.